Hey, good evening, everybody out there in Chester County and on my Facebook page on this tantalizing Thursday, coming to you live on City Town Talk is none other than me, Brother Fonz. And man, do I have a treat for y'all this evening. I got my main man, Pots and Two Pans, none other than Bill Pierce from the Coatesville Senior Area Center. And we're going to share some good news because he got some big stuff to share with y'all. A big press release yesterday. I don't know whether to just introduce him or ask him for an autograph or what I'm supposed to do. But before we do all that, for all my regular viewers, you know what y'all supposed to do. You're supposed to tune in, hit the share button on this video so it can get around and we can see what's going on. Oh, we got somebody already. So we can get some questions. Daria Turner and Vanessa Barron, they are on. Vanessa, Vanessa, this was a counterpart from you guys doing Rock the Vote up there, 11th Avenue. This was a crazy bunch down at the Senior Center. I had a ball. And as you can see, they had their Rock the Vote shirts on. It was a great corner, just like y'all were. So it's good to see you. Vanessa said, hi, Bill, Doris's daughter. You know anybody named Doris?
We know a couple Dorises.
Okay, well, let's pretend you know that one. Hey, Kendra Wilson, she's showing up. Iris Holmes, thank you, Iris. They are viewing in. I'm telling you, look, I'm so excited. So I'm gonna get out the way. But first, before we bring him on, I wanna let y'all know who are some of our upcoming guests so I can keep you guys viewing. And I don't really have no announcements tonight. But so I'm gonna just tell you about some upcoming viewers. Daria Turner said, hey, Andra, let's do that right now. Okay, so some of our upcoming guests, I'm not gonna tell you the dates, but they're all gonna be on before the end of this year. We got Derek Morgan. I do know he's coming on Monday. We got Tim Phelps next week. He's in charge of Transportation Management Association of Chester County. We got Kenneth Winston, Executive Director of the Melton Center, Eric Mohammed of B. Moore Realty Company. We got Aaliyah Hogard, that's AJ's sister from Michigan State University. And we got James Logan, City Manager, Maya Johnson, she's so special. And last but not least, I am in talks right now with Valentino Holmes, the young African-American lady that has a chicken farm. And man, I can't wait to get her on here because she's nothing to be played with. She's no joke. I'm telling you, we are so diverse. It is crazy. Now, let me see. I got one other item I have to do here. Y'all just bear with me. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. And I hope y'all staying safe. Y'all stay masked up too. I don't want to see y'all running around no mask on, breathing all on people talking about, hey, how you doing? Don't do it because I'm not going to speak to you. Matter of fact, I'm going to run. But now, this is the time that I'm just looking forward to for a couple of days now. I'm going to tell you a little brief bio of who we have sitting right here. My man, Bill. Okay, Bill Pierce, he grew up in the borough of Downingtown. Don't hold that against him. And Glenmore. He graduated from Downingtown Area School District. He currently resides in southeastern Berks County, just outside of Morgantown. But he says his heart still belongs to Chester County. He majored in business administration with a minor in business communications. He's currently the executive director of Coatesville Area Senior Center, and that's a position he has held for 4 years. He served on the Pennsylvania Association of Senior Center Board of Directors. Also served on the National Institute for Senior Centers as a Pennsylvania delegate. Interim management and fundraising consultant for 3 years. You can help me raise some funds, I tell you. All right, executive director of Downingtown Area Senior Center for 7 years, assistant director of Downingtown Area Senior Center, oh, that's twice. Oh, he's the assistant director. And Eagle Scout with 2 pounds. And yes, I got a question about being an Eagle Scout and 2 pounds in a couple of minutes. Bill, I want you to say good evening to all our viewers out there. Just say a few words. Don't say everything now. We don't want you to for show, but say some things to the viewers. Come on.
What's going on, Coatesville and Chester County? Happy to be here with you tonight and looking forward to taking some serious questions. I know Daria's got a few up her sleeve, so let's get to it, Fonz. Let's get them what they want.
We're at Bernadette Runner said, good evening, Bernadette. Good to see you. Vanessa said with two R's. Sonora Ragsdale Brown has just checked in. She said, hey, Fonz. Now, look, I just read your bio, and there's some things because I'm reading all this stuff that you did with the senior centers and stuff like that. What was your interest when you were in high school?
It had nothing to do with seniors, I promise you that. I
Oh,
loved my grandparents dearly, but my mind was not on one day running a senior center.
okay, okay, good stuff. Because I was wondering, because a lot of times what people are doing in high school or college, it just doesn't jive with what they're doing now. So we're going to find out how you came about that later on in the show. Okay, Eagle Scout. Now I know Eagle Scout's got to be one of the hardest things to do in Boy Scouts. Am I correct?
It is the ultimate award in scouting, yes.
Okay. Now, what's palms?
So I think I may have had a typo in my bio there, Fonz, because I have one palm.
Okay. Well, what's a palm?
So a palm is an award you earn after Eagle Scout, provided you stay active within your scouting troop and you continue to put in effort to earning merit badges. So earning palms is an advancement over Eagle Scout. It's additional work on the part of the youth. My mom, if she's watching, she might say it was the only time I was an overachiever. But scouting was a great opportunity for me. I encourage young men today and young women to be involved in scouting. I got to explore a good portion of the country by being involved in scouts, and it did help shape me to be the, let's hope, more mature person I am today.
Okay. Okay. And mature you are too. And you got a great spirit, man. You make me laugh, man, when I'm around you, man. That's some good stuff. All right. Now, I'm reading you have spent an enormous amount of time dealing with the seniors. And what led you to want to pursue this type of career?
So I had the opportunity to be a volunteer at Downingtown Senior Center, and there was an individual on the staff who sadly is no longer with us today. And one of our first projects we worked on together, we actually were the judges of the Hawaiian hula contest. And it was actually this lady's first day on the job, my first time volunteering. And we were tasked with picking the winner of the hula dance contest. And we both looked at each other. There was another young lady, 98 years young, who was participating in the contest that day. And we both said, if this young 98-year-old can get up and shake her hips, she wins. And that young lady got up and she shook those hips and she went home the winner of the hula dance. And from that point forward, I just fell in love with the seniors. Again, I very fortunate to have all four of my grandparents growing up, very close with my grandparents. And they have all since passed. So now I get to have two communities full of grandparents at my fingertips every day.
Wow, good story, good story, good story. Hey, to my viewers out there, if you have any questions for Bill, feel free to type it in, and he has promised to answer them in real time. So Debbie Boatman has checked in. She said, hi, Bill, with a whole bunch of exclamation points. So she's really emphatic about that. We have Lisa McDaniels. You don't check in with me often, so it is really good to see you this evening. Jennifer Rosado, she is presently watching. Yeah, because I was getting ready to ask you, when did the light bulb go on? What was that turning moment? So it was all about the hips of a 98-year-old woman. That's what's up. But we're going to remember that. I like that. Okay. Before we go any further, now for my viewers out there, no, maybe I need to turn that way. Bill's holding a dog. Let's talk about this. First of all, is the dog a senior citizen?
So yeah, I think he qualifies. He is 10 years old, which makes him 70 in dog years.
Yeah.
So he qualifies. That's Weston. Weston has the difficult title of being the therapy dog. He happens to belong to me, so I have to pay all of his bills, but I'm fortunate to be able to bring Weston to work every day, and he definitely spreads love to those who want it. When we are fortunate to have people in the building, he probably gets a few too many donuts, but that's neither here nor there. In fact, we may be visited by Weston, and there's also a semi-evil cat who may make his appearance, Mr. Twigs. They tend to come out when I've got things to do. So.
Oh man, that is all right. Weston, that is so cool. That's a great story. That's a great group that you're working with too. All right, now let me ask you a question. Getting personal. Are you married? Do you have children? What's going on with you?
I'm married to the job. How's that for you?
Okay, that's okay. That's all right.
Now, I enjoy my single life, Fonz. I get to come home, and if tonight I had peanut butter and jelly and potato chips for dinner. So
I ain't mad at you, but I don't want none. That's all right. Okay, where we at? Okay. Now, well, I hope I'm not moving too fast. I kind of want to stretch you out because you got stuff to say. Now, yesterday, I seen this press release in regards to you and the Coatesville Area Senior Center. Now, I want you to take this opportunity to talk in length about what it's all about, who is going to serve, just all that kind of stuff. The time is yours.
Yeah, so thank you for noticing the press release. We wanted to time tonight's engagement with you in order to share this news with the community. So the Coatesville Senior Center has been around since 1974. And if your viewers will indulge me just a moment, we'll take a little trip through history. So there are 6 senior centers in the county currently. They are located in Coatesville, Downingtown, Kennett, Oxford, Phoenixville, and Westchester. And with the exception to Kennett Senior Center, the other 5 were all founded by a lady named Amina Veloki under a nonprofit called Homemaker Home Healthcare. And as Homemaker Home Healthcare was winding itself down, all of the senior centers were turned free to become independent 501c3 organizations. So Coatesville has been around since 1974, incorporating as its own independent organization in 1977. Incidentally, Downingtown Senior Center was also around in 1974, and it would be the last senior center that Amina would turn free. Downingtown was always her baby. So both of our centers in Coatesville and Downingtown have a long history. The organizations have certainly had their unique life cycles, ups, downs, twists, and turns, but nobody was ever prepared for the magnitude of what a global pandemic would look like, and what the impacts would be on the strength and resiliency of the organizations that exist. So fortunately, Coatesville had worked hard over the last several years to strengthen itself internally, strengthen our financial position, grow our attendance, build strong community support. Unfortunately, Downingtown was in a different spot in their life cycle. They were having some struggles. There were some environmental issues in their building. They relocated. There were some challenges raising money in the community. And so one of the things that I think we've all learned, one of the things we've experienced in COVID together is there's been opportunity for us to push pause and take some time to reflect not just on ourselves, but also on how we all work better together to build back stronger, right? So for a few months now, we've been in conversations with Downingtown about how Coatesville could be supportive to them. We certainly don't want to see the lack of a Downingtown Senior Center. There are a number of people in that community who rely on their senior center similar to Coatesville. And basically what we decided was that there was better strength in one organization, that it would be difficult to share resources in terms of sharing our leadership team, sharing our board. If we were out fundraising, how would we, ethically decide when somebody makes a gift, which organization is it intended for? And so after evaluating a number of considerations, we landed on the strength being in one organization that would manage 2 locations. So The exciting news is that Coatesville Area Senior Center is not going away. Coatesville Area Senior Center would legally be defined as the surviving organization. We are going to change the name of the organization. Folks may have seen that in the press release. We are going to be Brandywine Valley Active Aging. We think that the name gives a much better definition to who we are and who we want to be. Senior centers are sort of becoming the name senior center is becoming a bit of a stigma. And we don't want the image to be that the folks who come to a senior center are sitting around in rocking chairs, knitting, that the only thing we do is play bingo, although we play bingo really well. So we thought Brandywine Valley Active Aging gave better definition behind our geography, better definition behind the people who are coming to a senior center. And so we landed on Brandywine Valley Active Aging which will oversee 3 campuses. So there will be the physical Coatesville campus, which will remain at the property it's in now, 250 Martin Luther King Boulevard, formerly Harmony Street. One time the Career Link Unemployment Building. And the Downingtown campus is currently operating at the Thorndale United Methodist Church, which puts it pretty geographically close to Coatesville, and a little out of reach to the communities that it really serves. So we're excited that we've been able to work with Brandywine Grace Church in the borough of Downingtown, right in the center of town. So starting January 1st, we're going to move the Downingtown campus back into the borough. And then our 3rd campus will be the continuation and expansion of our virtual programming. So we are going to have a formalized virtual campus that's accessible to people via multiple platforms, Facebook Live, like we're doing tonight, Zoom, YouTube. We have some teleconference programs. I mentioned we play bingo really well. We have about anywhere from 20 to 30 people who dial in on a conference line every week to play bingo. So the virtual campus is really attracting a number of people. Another exciting opportunity in January is going to be the rollout, as we roll out Brandywine Valley Active Aging, we'll be rolling out a technology lending program. So we were fortunate to receive funding from the Commonwealth to purchase tablets and a 1-year subscription of Verizon 5G service. So we'll have 15 tablets that we can lend out to folks so that if they don't have devices or they don't have internet connectivity, they'll be able to connect to the virtual campus if that's something they're interested in. So we're excited to roll that out. We're anxious to grow that as well, hoping that we can continue to connect with people who can't make it into the actual buildings once we're able to reopen.
Hey, well, let me stop you right there just
Yes.
for a second. First, I want to acknowledge Brenda Meeks has checked in. Charles Ricky Campbell is on the set, and so is Marsha Phillips. So let's talk about this lending technology. So in other words, a person can come and borrow a tablet and take it home and do what they want to do. And how long do they get to keep it, or how does that work?
So to borrow a tablet, we do require membership to the senior center, which is a $30 investment for a year. And then the tablet is free to borrow. You can borrow the tablet for up to a month. So while we have programs that do happen every week, a number of our specialty programs wrap up in a month. So we want people to be able to participate in the duration of that program. For example, Fonz, if we're working on an art project, it might take 4 weeks to complete the art project. So we want to make sure they have that device available for the duration of the project. So yeah, they would just get in contact with us at the senior center. Again, I believe we have 15 devices that are available to lend out. They are preloaded with the 5G service, so they don't need any internet connection. And we also have them preloaded with the platforms that the virtual campus is available on. So They wouldn't be able to add any apps or change any of the current settings, because the devices are really just intended for them to be able to connect back to us and back to their friends.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I got somebody that's checked in, and I have a question coming from one of our viewers. First, I want to acknowledge Claire Lindo. It's always good to see you. And we got a question here from Daria Turner, who is one of your biggest fans. She said, during this time, how can we, the community, support the senior center? That's one of my questions, Daria. How can we as people in the community volunteer with center?
So thank you, Daria. And Daria probably is one of my biggest fans, and I love her just as much back. I'm glad she's with us tonight. So volunteering is an important part of what we do. You know, we as Coatesville, we were serving 1,500 individuals per year, about 125 people per day. We anticipate that number to more than double as we roll out Brandywine Valley Active Aging. And we're a staff of today, we're a staff of 8. In January, we'll grow to be a staff of 11. And so clearly 11 people can't manage all of that work. You know, we love to talk to people about their unique interests in the senior center rather than making blanket statements about volunteerism. You'll find as you learn more about us, even in the way we approach our programming, we are member-led and staff facilitated. So we don't like to sit in a vacuum and pretend like we know what everybody else likes to do. There are really easy ways to volunteer. I mean, there's always the need for help with simple tasks like being a receptionist and answering the phones, greeting visitors as they arrive, helping in the kitchen to get meals prepared. Unfortunately, the reality of the pandemic is that we have had to suspend once again our volunteer programs to control the number of people coming in and out of the building. So while we enjoyed some relaxation on the restrictions over the summer, we are back down to only staff in the building. And so we are you know, reorganizing ourselves to make sure that we can manage the need in that capacity. But it is the perfect time to start talking to us about what does it look like as we roll out Brandywine Valley Active Aging? What does it look like when we, let's hope, we can reopen in July as the vaccinations roll out. And the opportunities, again, range from simple to more complex and involved, like being a member of the board of directors or joining the fundraising committee. Helping us with our, Daria has been an extraordinary volunteer in helping us work on our strategic plan. So, you know, there's a number of opportunities. I'm happy to talk to anybody at any time about what their personal interests are.
Hey, but you know what, Bill, I am just realizing because sometimes I'm impervious and sometimes I just don't realize that the fact that I'm 70 years old and I think I'm a senior center now, a senior person, you know what I mean? So I'm getting some information from my doggone self. So now, yeah, let's start talking about this food thing because I've heard so many good things about the food, the lunches you serve, and the pricing. Talk to us because that might be worth a $30 membership for a year. Talk to us about the food because that's important.
Sure. So let's start with age, right? So the welcome age for Brandywine Valley Active Aging is individuals 50 and older.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just 7 years shy of it right now. So 50 and older is the welcome age. For programs that are federally funded, the age is 60 and older with some caveats, right? So the lunch program that you're mentioning. So lunch is intended for persons 60 and older or their spouse. Lunches are funded by the Older Americans Act. And so the federal government releases money for the lunches to the state, who releases money to the county, who then figures out how to get food out to the senior centers in order to serve the communities. So we're very fortunate at our Coatesville campus. We have an executive chef on staff, Miss B. And so the meals that we serve are chef inspired and freshly prepared. And right now during the pandemic, there is no cost for, well, there's never a cost for lunch, but there's generally a requested $2 donation. During the pandemic, to again protect the staff and the seniors, limit our contact with one another, they have waived the request for the $2 donation, so folks are invited to enjoy a meal. We do have a number of people who kindly send checks back to us to help, offset the cost of that program, but because certainly we have staff overhead, we have to keep the lights on. So the meal program, again, is intended for individuals 60 and older, or the spouse of somebody 60 or older. And there's honestly, Fonz, there's a list that's probably 8.5 by 11 page long of other ways that you would be eligible to enjoy a lunch. If there's financial hardship, if you are someone who's not 60 or older, but your primary role is to care for family members 60 or older. So there's a number of ways that folks can enjoy the lunch from the senior center. And frankly, if you really just want to have lunch with us, when we're not in pandemic phase, anybody can come and have lunch, and they just pay the full cost of the meal, which is $4.50. So
now, but do you have to be a member, or you can just come in off the street?
There is no membership requirement to have lunch.
You say it is a membership requirement,
There is
right?
no requirement.
Oh, no
requirement for
and
lunch.
$4 is, oh my goodness, cost me $4 for an order of French fries.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute, I'm falling in love with the senior center. Oh, we gotta call it something else. The aging who? What's it called? It's gonna be the Brandywine
Valley Active Aging.
Active aging. I'm gonna try and stop saying senior center. Active aging. I'll get it. But look, so let's stay right there for a minute. To all my, well, first of all, Erica Rodriguez, it is good to see you. Darius said the food is real. Darius, I've heard that so much that I'm going to get up in there. Felicia McCain is watching. Felicia, it's good to see you. Darius wants to know, what days do you serve breakfast and lunch?
Mm-hmm. So I'm sure many folks have seen our news on Facebook. The center is actually closed this week as we've had 2 staff people test positive for COVID. So we had to take a step back and make sure that our staff was healthy, being taken care of. The board at the senior center has been tremendous during this pandemic and has committed unrelenting time and resource to make sure that we have the financing we need to protect the staff. So I think, it just goes to show that no matter how many precautions you take, COVID has its way of finding you. I heard you earlier talk about masks. We can't stress enough how important masking is. But the good news is that our staff members are both recovering well. The building has been cleaned thoroughly, sanitized thoroughly. However, it's forced us to make some decisions again on how we serve the community and make sure that we can be there for the long run of getting through the pandemic. So breakfast had been being offered every Tuesday and Friday. Breakfast is open to the public. There is no age requirement for breakfast. Anybody could enjoy a breakfast. Unfortunately, breakfast is going to be put on hold because we really need to make our focus on the seniors who we're here to serve. So we look forward to a time when we get the virus back under control, and we will open that breakfast drive-through up right away again. We know a lot of people were coming to love the breakfast. But lunch is available right now. It's available 5 days per week. We're going to make some modifications. There will still be food for 5 days a week, but the drive-through itself will not be open 5 days per week. So we're working out those modifications, and we'll get that news out to everybody as quick as we can. And again, it's just, an extra step that we can take to ensure that we protect everybody to the best of our ability.
So you're saying your projected reopening will be somewhere around June or July?
Yeah, so, well, I'm just going to say it, Fonz. It is what it is. There's no national guidance on how to respond to this pandemic. And And so it's been left up to the states, and the states are putting a lot of the pressure on the counties to figure out how to respond. And so, even when you look at Chester County, and you mentioned in the opening, I live in Berks County, and the way the senior centers in Chester County are responding is completely different to the way the senior centers in Berks County are responding. Yeah. And I'm not here to decide if it's right or wrong. I'm just here to say that in Chester County, we've taken a much more conservative approach to operating the centers. All of our centers are doing food distribution, but none of our facilities are large enough to welcome back the crowds that we were experiencing and do it safely. So we're really looking at a post-vaccination reopening. So as soon as we can get to a place where it's safe to get people back in the building, that's obviously our goal. We have a soft goal of maybe June, July, welcoming people back in the building. I think the reality of the situation is masks are going to be around for a long time, so we might as well get comfortable with them. We've had 9 months to do it. Let's just do it. Congregate gatherings, I don't know how quickly lunch will return to the dining room. I mean, in a pre-COVID world, we would have up to 80 people per day for lunch. The total building occupancy right now during COVID is 39 people. So I couldn't even fit everybody who used to sit in the dining room. I can't fit them in the entire building at this time. So we certainly have a lot of work to do, but the staff is committed, the board is committed. And as soon as we can all come together and make it a safe environment, we'll get those folks back in as quick as we can.
Oh, I'm excited, man. I'm gonna start hanging out with y'all.
We'd love to have you.
Reminisce when I was a young puppy. But look, hey, we got Urias Cole. He just checked in. He said, Bill is the best in the business. Boy, they are flattering you tonight. What did you do? Pay these people? I mean, all right. Roberta Rowland is watching. Oh, man. I think I'm going to be sick. So much sugar going on. I may be a diabetic before this thing is over. Now, what else I got? Because I think I had some questions. Hey, look, for my viewers out there, now you heard what he said that they do in regards to the services that they provide, the food that they provide, and stuff like that. A lot of people want to know, well, how can I have an impact on the community? How can I do something? I know a lot of y'all ask that while you're sitting there on your sofa. Well, while you're sitting on your sofa, write out a check or do something. We're going to give you the information, because this would be a worthwhile investment into the community. And this is how you can play a part, even if you can't get up and volunteer and all that kind of stuff. And is there any minimum that you accept as far as donations, Bill?
Every dollar counts, Fonz. A little bit adds up to a lot.
So y'all heard that. Don't be coming on here talking, well, I only got $2. He said $2 would be just fine. So don't forget. Now, we're going to get some information in regards to how they can, just tell them right now, how would they go about donating? Do they mail a check to you? Is there online giving? What's going on with that?
Yes, so we are happy to accept checks through the mail. Checks would right now be written out to Coatesville Area Senior Center, or you can use the acronym CASC. They would be mailed to our address, which is 250 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. That is Coatesville, 19320.
Stop right there for a second.
Yes, sir.
Area or whoever is involved with the senior center, could you type in the comment section the address and all that Bill just said, so people can see this as we go forward? Okay, go ahead, Bill.
And the easiest way is to just head over to the website, coatesvilleseniorcenter.org. And one of the first things you're going to see is the big donate button. You just click on that donate button and fill out the form. It's safe, it's simple, it's secure, and you'll get a thank you letter faster than I can write it. So coatesvilleseniorcenter.org and find that donate button.
Good stuff, man. I got some questions here. I'm scribbling stuff off and everything. I feel like we progressing Okay, now here goes top 10 questions that I asked him to tell me, so I gotta ask him, so y'all gonna think that I just created these questions. Not a chance, are you kidding me? All right, here we go. Why should we be concerned about aging and aging issues?
So when we talked funds, I mentioned this is one of my favorite questions. I get asked this question a lot. Why should I be concerned about aging? Well, if we're all sitting here today, we were fortunate enough to be born. And from the moment we left our mom's bellies, we started the aging process. And we all should be hopeful that we're going to live a full life. And I'll tell you, the staff is as committed to this as I am, because when I am eligible to attend the senior center, and I will, I want it to be everything that I want it to be. And so that's why we try to make it as great as it is today, because that's what it should be, right? It should be what the people want. And so, you know, one of the most exciting things that I've seen in my time is this transition for the meal program at the Coatesville campus, which hopefully we can expand one day to the Downingtown campus, that the meals are chef inspired and fresh prepared. I mean, nobody wants corporate stew for lunch. So I am excited to be 60 and have a $2 lunch. I don't have to pack a lunch anymore when I turn 60. I can just get it in the office. So yeah, so you know, if you're still walking this planet with us today, you should be concerned about aging and where, you know, what resources are going to be available for you in your retirement. You're on mute there, my friend. You're on mute. That's the line of 2020.
Yeah. Hey, why should we donate to a senior center? And I thought the lottery was supposed to pay for that. What happened?
My second favorite question, I put them in order.
Yeah, good.
So probably my least favorite animal in the country is the damn groundhog that appears every night with the lottery.
Oh boy.
I think his name is Gus, the second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
so we are lucky to be Pennsylvanians, and we are lucky that we are the only state in the nation whose lottery is dedicated to supporting programs that support older Pennsylvanians every day. But I'm here to tell you that if you think that a senior center operates on dollars that are coming from the lottery, you are sadly mistaken or misinformed. Those lottery dollars are helping fund transportation. So those Rover buses that you see running around, purple buses with the white dog on them, lottery dollars are funding the property tax and rent rebate program, the PACE prescription program. They fund the Department of Aging. Some of those dollars do trickle into help bolster the lunch program. So they add some support to the Older Americans Act dollars to make the budget a little bit higher. Very few dollars actually end up in the operating budget for a senior center. So I'll tell you, Fonz, back in my time at Downingtown, when I first joined the board of the Pennsylvania Association of Senior Centers, we did a real loose survey, and I put that out there very openly, that there was no science behind the survey. We simply reached out to the senior centers around the Commonwealth that we were connected with, and we said, hey, what's your budget? What's your funding that's coming in from government sources? And basically what it boils down to is about 10 cents on the dollar from the lottery is benefiting a senior center to help keep the lights on. So it funds a lot of programs that we help enroll folks in. But the misconception when we go out to fundraise is that, why should I give you money because the lottery's paying for everything? They just aren't. In our case, government support, total government support. So from anywhere, any government agency that I can find to give me money accounts for about 20% of our annual operating budget. And so it's my lucky job to fundraise the other 80%. So supporting a local senior center is an important thing to do. We're not often thought of in the eyes of donors as a place to send their money. And that's on us to get our story out there and draw attention to the work that we're doing.
Well, prayerfully, this show will kind of like open up some eyes, at least to my viewers. And look, Kaya Scott has checked in. No wonder I started feeling smarter. Kaya Scott just checked in. Okay, Kaya, top of the evening to you. Anthony and Latifah Towels. I'm telling you, we got some heavy hitters on here. And most of my viewers, they just got big hearts. I don't want to start talking about all the stuff that Latifah Towels does for us with Prosper Bank because I don't want to start tearing up. But got some beautiful people on here. Hey, now, Bill, don't be shocked, but every now and then, whenever I'm on here, I always rub my nose. For 8 years, I've been doing live from the stair steps and this, and my nose never itches until I get on here because it's embarrassing. But that's all right. I'm going to keep on going. I had a good question, but I forgot what it is. But we got some scripted questions, so here we go. Let's go to your third one. Oh, you already told me about that. How many beds do you have?
Yeah, so once people realize, once they get through understanding that the lottery doesn't fund us, they want to know how soon they can move mom or dad in. Well, the senior center is not a nursing home. We're not a long-term care facility. The folks who come to the senior center are independent in terms of ambulation, feeding, the activities of daily living. We don't employ medical staff. By license, they may have a medical background, but that doesn't mean that, you know, if they were a nurse before they came to the senior center, we're not employing them to be a nurse at the senior center. So there are no beds. Well, there is a bed that you can go lie down in if you don't feel well, but it's not intended for overnight guests. Everybody that comes has to go home.
You got to get out of here.
The party's got to end sometime.
There you go. Woo, that's good stuff. Man, you know what? Hey, Bill, now you're getting older. Pretty soon you're going to get that $2 lunch. But with that $2 lunch, you're going to start forgetting stuff that was on your mind, like I just did. Because Lord knows I had a real good question, but I can't remember what it was. So I'm going to move on anyhow. If anybody knows what I was just thinking, type it in the comment bar so I can ask Bill this question. All right, are your fundraisers only for people 60 and older to attend?
They are not. Fundraisers are open to everybody. We just wrapped up on election day, the hoagie sale. They were, again, homemade hoagies. Miss B had the entire staff in there. I think we arrived at 4:30 in the morning to start making the hoagies. It was a long day, but a fun day. So again, you know, we're just looking forward to a time where there's not COVID, where we don't have to talk about COVID. I know several people that you've mentioned are tuning in tonight have attended our signature event, which is the Moo and Brew and Grapes 2. It is a reimagined beef and beer, and we hold that up at the airport. We use one of the private hangars up at the airport. They pull the airplanes out. There's a beer garden, a wine garden, food trucks, live music. You get to play in the airplanes. It's just a good time. And, you know, a night like that is going to run you about $40 for a general admission. And it's another great opportunity to support the senior center. It is probably in my, what am I at now, Fonz? 14, 18 years of doing senior centers. It's probably one of the most enjoyable fundraisers I've ever been a part of for raising money for the senior centers.
Look, while you was talking, I remembered the question that I had. Yes, just keep talking, stuff's coming back to you. But here was the question. It says, now, since you've been in this business, what is the draw? Why have you ever taken a survey? I'm sure you have, about why people attend senior centers. Is it a lack of outside? No, I ain't going to start saying all that. Why and what are the main reasons why our people come to the senior center?
Yeah, so everybody's circumstance is going to be different. You know, we have folks who come and spend the entire day with us. So they are the first to arrive and the last to leave. Often, you know, they're there before we are, and then we're trying to throw them out so we can go home. Some folks come because they just want to participate in an exercise class, or they just want to sit down and have lunch with friends. You know, there are so many opportunities in a year at the senior center. If I even tried to list everything that we do in a year, I would certainly miss something, and one of the viewers would probably point it out for me. But you know, exercise, art, learning. We have a foreign language program. We have drivers retraining, not behind the wheel, it's at the desk. You know, the income tax preparation is another big program that people attend every year. So everybody's circumstance is different. You know, I said earlier that the staff and I, we want the senior center to be member-led and staff facilitated. So the staff doesn't decide what we do. The staff asks, listens, and learns what we should be doing by engaging with the people. And then the other sort of golden rule we have is that we want people to want to come, not need to come, right? So I want to need to want to be there. And so our work goes beyond just seeing somebody for the day. We really try to learn who everybody is and what's unique about them, and try to determine what we can do to support them after they go home, because we want them to want to come to the senior center because it's a fun place to be and they enjoy their friends. And, you know, we're certainly happy to help people in their time of need, but we want to fix that need, right? We want it to be a desire, not a necessity.
Good stuff, good stuff. Hey, look, Donald Anderson has checked in, and Uriah School says, do you receive funding from the county? If so, what percentage is it, and is it enough?
County contract wraps into that number where I mentioned that government funding constitutes about 20% of our budget. You know, the short answer to Uriah's question is it's probably never enough. You know, even if it was 40%, I would probably want more, because I can certainly, you know, spend money quicker than I can make it grow on trees. The county has been extremely generous to the senior centers during the pandemic. So, you know, we're fortunate to be who we are in Pennsylvania, in Chester County. There is strong support for the work that senior centers do. We continue to advocate, probably me every day, for them to find more money to send to us. So, you know, we'll see where that falls. But the short answer is the county funding wraps up in that total government funding. It's about 20% of our budget. And that's going to be different for every senior center, right? So some centers have larger budgets, some have smaller budgets, and what the county gives them, it's not contingent on your budget size. So, you know, if I want my budget to be $1 million, that number from the county is going to stay where it is.
Okay. Now, I heard you mention about help with taxes and things of that nature. Now, that's all predicated on you being a member of or are you helping people that's not a member? Say like if somebody that's not a member of the senior center, they come in and they want help with your taxes, would you help them?
Yeah. So an important thing to remember for all of the senior centers in the county, membership is optional. None of us have a mandatory membership fee. To receive federal funding, you cannot impose a mandatory membership. So if we want the contract with the county, we cannot have a mandatory membership. So almost everything that the senior center offers is for anybody who comes and needs help. Membership would get you, let's say you want to take a yoga class or an art class, something where we're hiring an instructor to provide a service to you. You would probably have to pay membership to, and then put out a small amount towards the cost of that program. So in a pre-COVID world, let's say you came to yoga, you would have to join membership, which is $30 for the year. And then you would buy what we call a program punch card. And I believe the punch card costs $25, and that gives you 13 sessions to go to any class that has a fee. So less than $2 per class is what you're paying to take a class like yoga. The card is not is not restricted to the program that you want to do. So you go to yoga, you don't like yoga, and you want to try art class, that card works in the art class too. So we try to make it as easy as possible and as affordable as possible for as many people as we can.
Okay, are you guys open on the evenings or on the weekends, or how's that looking?
Well, we'll take that one back to Urias's question. If we could find some more county or state funding, we'd love to expand out the program hours. Surprisingly, I think the time that we're open, I think suits largely to the population that we're serving right now. But if we really want to be attractive to that 50 to 60-year-old crowd, we need to figure out a way to have hours in the evening. That's kind of where the virtual campus we hope is going to come in as well. But the number one request that we get is to find a way to be open on the weekends, because a lot of these people go home on Friday and that's it until Monday. They either don't have family or family's not close. And so it breaks our heart right now to know that these folks who really just looked forward to Monday to come around again are now sitting at home without any visitation. So we do try to check in with the folks that we don't see right now. We try to give them phone calls every other week, make sure that people are doing okay, make sure that they hear a friendly voice. And hopefully we can, got to get those doors back open, get people back inside the building.
Yeah, y'all got them addicted to the senior center. They go home on Friday. I need a fix, man. Anybody seen the senior center? Oh, man, that is good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Prayerfully, man, that it can be opened up for them. Hey, look, I think that is about it. We exhausted all the questions, although I could have many, many, many more. But a brother got to eat his dinner. I never eat before the show, so I got to eat. But, man, let me tell you something. This has been so enlightening. And I'm telling you, just talking to you for these few minutes has done two things. It's made me feel smarter and older all at the same time. I'm telling you. But I want to thank you, Bill, for allowing me to just come into your humble abode and just talk to the people, the viewers out there. Hey, viewers, I hope y'all enjoyed this. And look, remember, on my broadcast, liking it is okay, but sharing it is better. Share this video to your friends, because sometimes we perish for a lack of knowledge. So, I mean, they have so much to offer. And let me ask you a question. To find out all the programs that you run, they can go to your website, right?
So the website is going to have very basic information right now, because what we're doing sometimes changes by the day. Okay. The best way to stay connected with us right now is Facebook. Okay. We're pretty active on Facebook. And certainly anybody can sign up to receive the newsletter. Just reaching out to us, we're happy to send that to you in the mail. We also can send it to you electronically. Anybody that wants to see a copy of the newsletter right now, I'll go slow. You can visit a website. It is ourseniorcenter.com, and you search for Coatesville, and they have already changed the name. So once you get to ourseniorcenter.com and you type Coatesville as your search area, you're going to look for Brandywine Valley Active Aging, and you'll be able to see all the past 4 years of newsletters are available there. So you can see our growth. You can see what we were doing pre-COVID. You can see what we're doing during COVID. The newsletter and Facebook are probably the best ways to stay connected with us right now.
Okay, some of you viewers out there, I need you to help me help people. If you heard what he just said, because I forgot half of it, right? Type that stuff in the comment bar so people that's coming behind can find out. I do remember you said ourseniorcenter.com.
Ourseniorcenter.com.
If you start there, if you start there, you can find it there, because y'all be on there shopping and everything else. Don't play like y'all don't know how to Google stuff and everything else. Put that in the address bar and find out how to get on there and see what they're doing. And don't forget, once you get on there, look for that donate button. It's there somewhere. Hey, look, wait a minute. Debbie Bookman has something to say. Let's see. Bill, you are truly a blessing. Thank you for all that you do, and you, Fonz, for hosting this show to broadcast these amazing people to our community. Continued blessings to you. Oh, you're just so special, Debbie. Hey, look, this is our moment where we come to an end, and I want to give you a few moments to share whatever it is that's on your heart to the viewers out there, and then we're going to close this out. Come on, time's yours.
So, Fonz, I had the opportunity today to sit virtually with the leadership collaboration for the National Institute for Senior Centers. So, as the Pennsylvania delegate to that platform, we get together once per quarter. And someone said today, they said that, they look forward to the time that we return to normal. And we've been challenging folks at the Senior Center to drop that from our daily discussions, because we need to realize that normal didn't work for everybody. And we've got a lot of work to do post-pandemic to make sure that normal is good for everybody, not just a few. And so I part with saying, I look to a time where things are consistent again, where the plans that we make on Thursday don't change on Friday, that we can provide consistent quality service that people have come to expect from us, and that the new normal, wherever that may be, provides equal opportunity to everybody. And I really think that if anybody can do it, America can do it, and why not get it started in Coatesville?
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to that hour, that time when I had to say goodbye. It's been real, but we gotta go. So look, I want everybody to remember that Coatesville truly is rising. Brother Fonz and his baby cakes love you. And remember, Black lives and senior centers and senior people matter. Talk to you later. God bless. Peace out.